Hi everybody, welcome once again to Out of the Ordinary into the Extraordinary. I'm Robert Taylor, coming to you on WMTV.
And I'm Pamela Hill-Taylor, and as always we bring you guests who are uplifting, enlightening, educational, entertaining.
All of the above.
All the above.
We have some great guests.
We do. So
We do.
we're going to learn more about aging in America, because
Yes.
we have the host of Aging Well in America.
And two ladies from BrightStar.
Yes, two ladies
Yes.
from BrightStar, and also our guest, longtime friend of both of us, although we didn't know it, Cheryl Word.
Yes.
So got a great show coming up, so stay with us.
So welcome to our first segment, everybody. We have two delightful ladies. One you may recognize. She's just started a fantastic show on Channel 5 called Aging Well in America, but she also operates a great home care company called BrightStar. So we're going to learn all about that. And she's accompanied by another great person from BrightStar who really knows how to take care of the elderly. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Anne-Marie Gattari and Faye LaPorte to the show. Faye,
very much.
yes, Anne-Marie.
Robert, thanks for having us.
So first off, maybe you can tell us about Aging Well in America, the show content, and when people can get to watch you.
Sure. Well, Aging Well in America was born from really my experiences in taking care of my own parents. There had been for many, many years a show related to SOC,
Yeah.
as viewers of this program know, and it was hosted by Fran, a lovely woman
Yeah.
who gave so much to the community. When she retired, I volunteered to take over the slot, and we renamed the show. And I really built on my own experiences, as I said, taking care of my parents in their final years, and then the startup of BrightStar Care, which gave me a lot more insight into all of the issues surrounding the aging.
Now you had a whole different background. Tell us a little bit
I
about
did.
that.
I did.
Interesting background.
I
yeah.
started as a journalist. I was a reporter for the Detroit News for many years.
Wow.
And then I went to Ford Motor Company, where I had great fun promoting cars and trucks, especially the trucks. I say I had the best job in the automotive industry. But after my dad died, my life changed, quite frankly. I helped my dad die. And when I went back to work after that, as I say, you know, life often takes a turn that you're not expecting. And though that turn led me to BrightStar, where I am today. We'll celebrate our year anniversary in a few weeks. And Faye has been with us since the beginning.
Almost the beginning.
She is a special, special woman who has an intuition with people with Alzheimer's and dementia that was born from her own personal experience, and then we've helped Faye grow it by investing in some courses through the Alzheimer's Association, as well as helping her develop a program that she has put all of her talents into, which is called Play Care. And I'd love to have her tell you about it.
Yes, Faye, tell us about your background, first of all.
Actually, my background is in corporate. I was a director of operations for many years for a large company.
Wow.
This is totally out of my realm.
Yeah.
But as in Anne-Marie's case, my mother got very ill, Alzheimer's, and I had to move her into my home. And at that time, my company was phasing out anyway, so I took care of her for 8 years. And all of these things that I have developed really has come from a hit and miss situation with her, because you really don't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. And that is a very difficult situation to live with.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. This is a condition that somebody needs constant care. Constant care. So tell us a little bit about this amazing program.
My Play Care program?
Yeah.
Play
And you do
Care.
this through BrightStar?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This is for BrightStar
Yeah. Yeah.
clients. The whole goal for me is to debunk all these theories about people with Alzheimer's and dementia. They're really not gone. They're in there.
Yeah.
And my goal is to bring them out. I like to describe it as if you're looking into a big dark cave and you're bending and you're straining to look. Eventually you see these two big eyes in the back, and you have to reach in and try to draw them out. So I like to say, please come out and play with me. Please come out. I want to be the playmate.
Well, that reminds me of a play that I saw down in Charleston, South Carolina, and it's called Helium. And it was written by, he was the director of the theater, but his mother-in-law had Alzheimer's. And so the whole play's based on the mother-in-law and her world.
It is a world.
Yeah, and she was living in a fantastic world because they had all of the the props on the were showing what she was seeing. She was on the beach and she was
Sure
having
she was.
and some kid was coming visiting, and that was her pool boy, and on and on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are a lot of experiences that really, it's a matter of having them relive, but as Faye says, relive now as opposed to just remembering by
Their whole
themselves.
life is those memories.
Yeah.
Some are old, some are when they were young, and quite honestly, some they borrow from other people. I had a little guy that did that. He told me all about the Korean War and his buddies and where he fought, and it was cold. He'd never been in the service. So he borrowed that memory. But isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, wonderful. So you brought some props.
Oh, yes.
Show us how you would
The
go
whole
about.
goal will be to trigger a memory so that they come into the future a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the most popular is Princess for a Day. So I would go in with my client, and of course, this is the prettiest one. So I give that one to her, and she wears her little boa.
Oh,
And then I have one
great color of your
also.
outfit.
So I wear mine and my little boa, and we wear it all day.
Oh.
All day long. And then we have hand cream and nail polish. And she does a lot of exercises during the day, and she insisted on keeping all of this on.
That's
And
amazing.
the fun thing was, she remembered when she was in high school and all the dances she attended
Oh,
from this.
yeah.
So
Because
that
you had music on and
Oh,
that triggered.
music is another one that triggers.
Yeah.
I never say to them, do you remember this, do you remember that? I want them to just kind of hear it and let it go, and
Yeah.
they do remember. If they're really advanced, women really want to have a baby. So
Yeah.
these are the little babies to hold that we give them.
That's amazing.
Now, Faye makes
Oh, yeah, I make all this
all
stuff.
of these
Yeah.
products. I want to go back to Miss L, though.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
The woman
Okay.
who benefited from your tiara and boa.
Mhm.
So Miss L remembered before a few sessions were over, caregiving sessions with her.
Yeah.
Faye had her doing shorthand, which she had done in the 40s when she was a
Probably in
secretary.
the
And it
40s.
all started with the triggering of the memory through music, through conversation, and before you know it, she's writing their names in shorthand.
That's
And this was a
incredible.
woman who, when we first started taking care of her, did not really speak in full sentences.
No, because she was retreated into that little land that they live in.
Yeah.
So I've been able to draw her out of that, and she's come up with some amazing things. She actually has wonderful ideas and thoughts, and it's all because somebody is paying attention
Yeah.
and somebody is just interacting with her. I'm not taking over. I'm not in charge.
Right.
Right.
And she has had some wonderful memories. Her husband told me she didn't remember their marriage, where she worked, anything. And she's
Yeah.
telling me everything, where she worked and all the dances they went to. And
That is.
it's incredible.
That's a huge progress.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
That's a-
the breakthrough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're literally bringing her back, into her world.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm bringing her out of the little vague cave that she was in into the real world. Same memories,
Yeah.
but they're real.
Right.
So how does somebody get to have you help out?
Well, what we have done with Play Care is we are institutionalizing it so that all of our clients can benefit from them.
Yeah.
It is not only the ones that Faye can take care of, because she obviously can't take care of all of them. So
Yeah.
what she's doing is teaching our caregivers how to develop and
Yeah.
come up with these programs. So we actually have a play assessment. Faye is going into each home, just as our nurse does, to do
Yeah.
a clinical assessment. Faye will go in to do an activities, an interest assessment
Yeah.
when our caregiver is there. Of course, all this is with the permission of the family.
Yeah.
And through a little interview process and some observing, Faye will come up with what we call a plan of play. And then she and the caregiver will develop it to bring it to life. And then that caregiver who is taking care of that other client will continue to keep it alive. And so that's how we are rolling it out into our,
That's
into
incredible.
our practice.
Yeah.
Very rewarding.
Yeah.
Very
It's
Yeah.
quite revolutionary,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about BrightStar, what else do you do in terms of care for people?
Well, in addition to the personal and companion care, which so many people are familiar with because they need that, we also have a skilled nursing set, which encompasses our registered nurse providing any type of medical need that only a medical person can provide.
Yeah.
She also will, for instance, take a client to a doctor's appointment and not just sit in the waiting room, as you know many escorts can and do.
Yeah.
But she'll talk with the client, or excuse me, with the client's doctor, and then write a report for the family, or have a care conference afterwards and let the family know what happened at that doctor's appointment.
This
So-
is quite a revolution, really, in home care.
Well, and that's the whole focus.
Yeah.
We're different. We can offer more for that client.
Yeah.
They'll have a more enjoyable experience with us.
We've all lived it, and
Yeah.
we know what it feels like to be on the other side.
Yeah.
And we know what we needed when we were there,
Yeah.
and what it felt like when those needs were met, and when it felt like when they were not met. So we're just really trying to anticipate what needs are. So many of our clients' families, adult children, live elsewhere around the country, and the client can't always wait for the child to travel and be here.
Yeah.
So we try to really provide the need and give the family peace of mind. And sometimes it's simply a matter of us giving them some time while they decide what the long-term solution is.
You need somebody who's ethical you can trust.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And what to speak of somebody who can help them make progress.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
that's
exciting.
major.
It's truly
It's
exciting.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make their day a little more cheerful.
Yeah,
That's really what
absolutely.
we're after.
Now, Anne-Marie, tell us when people can get to see a show on
Aging Well in America is on, I believe it's the first and third weeks of every month. The times, 5:30 a.m., 2:30 p.m., and 6 p.m. I believe,
Okay.
don't hold me to it.
All right.
If the schedule
Otherwise-
is on the website.
Okay, otherwise, they can check it out.
Yeah, but we have wonderful guests. We have experts from Wayne State's Institute of Gerontology, from Services for Older Citizens, from all over the community, medical, non-medical.
That's
I'm going to have a
great.
program coming up on home care, and I'm going to have some of the other very well-reputed agencies
And
represented.
we've been showing your website, I believe, for BrightStar. Otherwise, is there a phone number that people can get a hold of you?
586-279-3610.
Give us that again.
586-279-3610.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us,
you so
Faye.
much.
Yeah.
Robert,
Anne-Marie,
thank you.
all the best.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Because I'll be there soon, myself.
all
I might
will
be needing
be.
your
All
help,
will.
We all will be.
Don't go away, everybody. We've got another great guest on the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to our second segment with our actually mutual friend,
Yes.
Cheryl's Word. And I'm so glad you can be here. And you're going to talk about miracles, something we all need more of.
Tell us a little bit about what you've come up with, Cheryl.
I've been involved with miracles probably for the last 20 years, and it's evolved into what I have discovered is called the Great Miracle Share. And the Great Miracle Share is about sharing miracles globally. And because I'm involved in the Course in Miracles, and what the Course in Miracles says is it talks about the miracle, and miracles happen in time. Now, what we don't think about when it says miracles happen in time is actually time is 4D. We live in 3D, but miracles happen in 4D. So therefore, they are beyond belief because we live in a three-dimensional body, and a third-dimensional definition of who we are, it comes from belief. It does not come from a 4D or a fourth-dimensional time value of what we understand to be correct. Fourth dimensional time is also called, is where you find nature. And it is also connected to the intuitive value of who we are, the intuition. And when you go to that 4D value, it's like when you connect with intuitive flashes, hunches, coincidences, and synchronization. Now, the reason we do not understand that and we don't connect with that all the time is because we are under the influence of the intellect. And basically what the intellect does is it smudges out that. And if you talk to science and you say, talk to them about an intuitive hunch, what they do is they totally go over it because the intellect does not understand an intuitive hunch. So it's kind of just waylaid or set aside, and it's just something that happens. It's not anything that really has any value. So the idea behind miracles is to bring that information more to us so that we're in alignment, because our true purpose at the beginning was to be caretakers of the world, or caretakers of the earth. And we can't be caretakers of the earth unless we understand fourth dimension or nature.
Yep.
The intellect does not understand nature. It knows how to study nature and analyze it, and but it does not know how to become one with it. No. So what miracles do is it allows us to become one with our natural creative ability, which is who we are. And the creative ability, because everyone is creative and we all add a piece of a puzzle to this whole picture that is, when it's complete and when it is presented, it allows us to become one with that natural, or one with nature, and we are in harmony with nature instead of living out of accord with it, and continuing to try to study it to make sure, figure out what nature is and how it works, and all this. So the idea is, how do you unlock that creative potential within, and then give it to the miracle so that the miracle can explain to us our true nature, or who we are at that fourth dimensional level, which is also defined as now. Yeah. Because everybody says they want to live in the present, but they don't live in the present, they live in the past.
Yep.
Most people
live in the past because we live in a 3D body, and all of our memories are formed based on our past understanding or our past experiences. So if we shift that level to the fourth dimensional level, what's going to happen is that we have a whole new set of memories that do not confine us and place us under the confinements of the intellect. We are free, where we are consciously free and free of the boundaries and the limits that have been placed onto us by the intellect.
And that includes the whole time continuum.
Yeah, the whole time continuum. It shifts everything. Yeah. Everything shifts. So the idea is because we need to build a creative picture. And everyone has to be involved in building this creative picture. In other words, I have a piece of the puzzle, you have a piece of the puzzle, you have a piece, everybody has a piece of the puzzle. And we cannot come together and create a better society until each of our pieces of the puzzle have come together as one. And then we have a whole picture. That's like the whole, and that is what, spiritually speaking, is a condition of righteousness. And when we have a condition of righteousness, we're universally recognized as being part of the cosmos. Yeah. So that's what the miracle does, is it helps us recognize that. So what has happened is that we believe in miracles, but we don't have faith in them. What do we have faith in? If I showed you $1 and I showed you a miracle, what would you say? I believe in miracles, but I have faith in my dollar. So what's locked in that dollar? If you take, like, say you have a chest, like a safety deposit box or a bank vault, okay? Money is kept in that bank vault. Okay, so we believe that there's value in there. There's value in that dollar. So if we open it up, and so we see a bunch of paper. Now, the paper doesn't really mean
no value
anything.
whatsoever.
It has no value except for who we are believes that has value. Exactly. So how can we unlock the value out of that dollar? And so what you do is you give that value, give the value of the dollar to the miracle. And so what the miracle does is unlocks it for us and gives it back to us so that we can understand and we begin to incorporate that miracle value, that fourth dimensional value into who we are.
Yeah.
And as that is incorporated into who we are, we begin to experience the things in our physical world that the end of war, the end of disease, the end of hatred, the end of religious persecution, the end of economic crisis, all of these things that
End
are
of fear.
faces in us.
End of fear.
Yes, that interfere with who we are because we are all working towards the same thing. And that's what the Great Miracle Share is about. When I have a miracle, or you have a miracle, or you have a miracle, anybody that's working towards unleashing or unlocking their creative ability, anybody, it not only affects that person, it affects the whole world. And there's really no plan like that in the whole world, except for miracles. I mean, that's what that is for. And because we don't understand miracles intellectually, the intellect or science will come up with an idea about miracles that really does not have any basics in dimensional science, in 3D science, but not dimensional science.
Now, one scientist who absolutely lived by your philosophy was Albert Einstein.
Yes, yes.
Einstein,
Yeah.
yeah. He believed in the, he said, in fact, I can't do the exact quote, but when we give up that vision of the miracle, then life, basically is done,
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
When we stop seeing
Yeah,
everything as a
yeah.
miracle.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So what we are fast approaching is the Mayan calendar of December 21st, 2012.
Yeah, this
and
year.
that, and it's like, okay, so what's going to happen then? And what is going to happen is that we're going to go on miracle time. And the old 3D time, what's going to happen to us when we go, we refuse and stay on old 3D time instead of using our creative ability to tap into that 4D time, it's going to become very intense. It's going to become very dark for people who do not want to use that intuitive flash, those coincidences, for a higher understanding.
Well,
You
that prediction was for the end of time.
Right.
As we know it.
Yeah, which would be, as you were saying, the 3D time.
Yes, the end of 3D time.
End of the time as we've known it.
Yeah, the end of belief as we know it.
Yeah.
Don't you need the whole world to be involved in this?
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm not going to mention any names, and there's a huge segment on the planet who absolutely have no kind of concept of
I
this
understand that.
and who are against this, I would think.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And you know what, and I could say there's nobody that has probably asked a question that I haven't asked. And some things I just have to step away from and go, you know what, the only thing that I'm responsible for is sharing the message. Whether somebody else accepts the message or not, that's up to them.
Yeah.
And because it is, if you stay on old 3D time, it is going to become, I've experienced it, and it becomes very, very intense, and very dark, very, very, very dark.
So you're talking about the philosophy that we currently live by,
Yes.
especially here in the West.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's show me the, what.
Show me the
Show me
dollar.
the, show me the
dollar.
money.
Show me the dollar.
Yeah,
Everything has become
Right, show me the money.
Very
yeah.
material.
Even we just had the ladies on talking about home care. But that whole world, the whole medical world, has become the
Right.
dollar, and worlds where people are really supposed to be helped and taken
Right.
care of. It's the dollar.
Right.
Education.
Right.
It's the dollar.
It's dollar.
Right.
It's all about the dollar.
Yeah. So
Now,
you're
for-
saying that's going to end.
Yes. Now, see, the thing about it, what happened 4,000 years ago was that Moses, the people, there was such a cry from the people. God heard. You
Yeah.
could say, whether you believe in God, I believe in the universe, I believe that there is a higher power, a
Whatever
higher
you
source.
call it, yeah,
Yeah, whatever you call it. God heard. God heard the people, and right now the people are crying out. And the miracles are for the people. They're not. It's not for the corporation. It's not for the governments. It's for the people.
not for the money.
It's not for the money,
Yeah.
but the money is involved. Money is part of it, but it's not. Money is mostly, if you can look at money as being a vehicle to reach a higher interpretation, it can be used for, everything in this world can be used for a better and a higher interpretation.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what I want to share. That's the information I want to share. Nobody is left out, and the idea behind it is like the Great Miracle Share itself, the certificate itself is $2. So, you know, it's like you can invest in a miracle. Think about that. You can invest in a miracle for $2. For
Yeah.
$2.
How does this all work? If,
Yeah, how does someone get involved?
yeah.
It's on the website, the Great
Okay.
Miracle Share, thegreatmiracleshare.com. Just go
Yeah.
there and then you can click on the certificate and go on there and you can become involved in it that way. And this is just an introduction because it's learning from a miracle standpoint is so different than learning from belief. It's not
Yeah.
anything that you can believe your way into.
And what is going to be the ultimate goal of all this?
A new world.
Yeah.
A new world order.
A new world order.
Yeah.
Yep, a new world
Yeah.
order. And, you know, I say 800 million miracles is because that's 10%, and that's based on the old standards, what, you know, give
Yeah.
10% of your earnings. And if we can get 10% of the people to participate in the Great Miracle Share, what's going to happen is just 10% will change the whole faction of everybody in the world. 10%.
And you're saying that things are going to change materially?
I say everything, I mean, it's like you have no idea what's going to happen. But I don't have any idea. You know, I've been given the message and I've given, this is what it is. Here, present the information. It's
Yeah.
taken me 20 years to totally understand what this is. Here's the message, deliver it, we'll take care of the rest. We'll
Wow.
take care of the rest.
So Cheryl, if somebody wants to get involved, tell us how they get a hold of you. We
They-
have been showing the website.
Yes.
My email address is greatmiracleshare@gmail.com. You can
Yeah.
contact me
We've
there.
got it.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
right there on the
Yeah.
screen. Yeah.
Yep, and I mean, it's wonderful things, and like I said, the idea is you want to become aware of miracles. Miracles happen all the time in our lives, but we're not aware that they happen. An intuitive flash is a miracle.
Yeah.
A coincidence is a miracle. A synchronization, anything that you go and you sit back and go,
Yeah.
that is a miracle, but we are not, and we want to increase the intensity. We want to understand when they're happening. You know, like if somebody flies by you going through a red light and you just happen, that's a miracle. That somebody missed, you didn't get an accident.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a miracle.
Yeah.
And just to become aware that we have this thing following us around, protecting us. And okay, I can invest in a miracle. If I had miracles, what would I do with them? How would I change my life?
But it's a miracle you've been on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you, and want
Thank
you to
you
come
so
back.